Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and any of the products that you see today you can purchase from Stampin' Up! Through me. The address at the top of the screen, and it's linked below. I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the like button after the video if you like my project. Okay, today I have a window. It's kind of a bag, but it's got the structure of a box. And inside I have some of the Hershey's Extra Creamy Hearts. I think $3 from Target. I'm sure they have them at Walmart and some of the drugstores also. I used nuts and bolt stamp set, which doesn't have dies, so I fussy cut this. But you could do a tag, a white tag, instead and just stamp it on there if you wanted to. I use the Beautiful Shapes dies again because I'm addicted to this hexagon for the window. The little hearts are from the Sweethearts dies, and this paper is Sweet Talk. Alrighty. So I made it out of 12 by 12 DSP. I used half of a sheet. Let me show you what we need here. I also use the Tailor Made Tags and the Scalloped Contours for the scallop at the top. Okay, so we need a piece of the Sweet Talk DSP that is 8.5 by 6. So this way it's exactly half, and you have a little bit, a couple inches left over you cut off. So you can get 2 of these out of every sheet of DSP. All right, we need some basic white for stamping. We need the second largest of this style of the Tailor Made Tags out of Real Red. And from the Sweetheart dies, we need 1 of the large hearts and 2 of the hearts that are joined. And I will show you those later. Don't want to lose these. Okay, so let's start with our 8.5 by 6 piece of DSP, Sweet Talk. And we're going to start with the 8.5 inch this way, okay? And if you have a pattern like, well, I wanted the lines to go up and down like this, you have to cut the lines 6 inches this way, okay? Alrighty. So, on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2, 4, 4.5, and 8. Then we're going to switch it to the 6 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 and 5. All right. I forgot to mention the bag measures 4.5 by 3.5 by 1/2 because the hearts fit in the 1/2 very nicely without having too much room to go forward and back. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm just going to fold and burnish. And don't forget, every $50 that you spend, you can pick something out of our Celebration catalog. And that just gets added to your order. No charge. Okay. I get this one. I got them all. Alright, now we need the 1 inch strip at the top. And there's going to be 1/2 inch strips all around the sides and the bottom. Okay? And this is what we want to do. Alrighty. So we're going to get rid of this square, this rectangle, and then 1, 2, 3 rectangles at the top. Alrighty, and this we're going to wedge the tabs. Alright, this is going to be a little bit hard to see. I'm sorry about that, but I just love this paper. Alright, so we're going to start on the left-hand side. There's a small square down here that we're going to cut off, and then we're going to wedge a little bit up above it. Okay? Move to the other side of this long skinny rectangle and cut up to the first score line. This is a square. We're going to cut to the first score line on the other side and then just wedge a tiny bit out of each side of this square. I don't know if you can really tell. There you go. Okay. And move to the other side of this rectangle, over to the square here, and do the same thing. Cut it to the first score line, and then wedge a little bit out of each side. Alrighty. Now we're going to turn it 180. And then this is what we're going to do. So first let's get rid of this rectangle on the lower right. So we'll cut it to the first score line and then wedge up. Okay. Now this is going to be our front flap. So this is the only other thing we need. Alrighty. So we're going to go over one score line here to the next fold. Okay. This is the part that we're going to use the tearing tape on, and then over one more, you're going to cut straight to the first score line, and then you're going to take all of this off. So you're just going to turn it and then take all of this off in a straight line. Okay, so that's what it should look like after you're done cutting. All right, now you don't have to do, because it's kind of hidden anyway, you don't have to do this scallop top if you don't want to. This is from the Scalloped Contours dies. So what I'm going to do, first we're going to fold down the bottom so that we can fit it into the machine. And then I'm just going to, whoops, wrong way, make sure the scallop is going up the round side. I'm going to put 3 in the middle. All right, and then just even them out and make sure it goes to the edge. Okay, and then I'm just going to take 2 pieces of low-tack tape and get it on there. And I'm going to run this through the machine and I'll be right back. Okay, then we're going to just gently take the tape off, and there's our scallop flap. Okay. If you notice, my stripes are going the other way. I made an error and I didn't follow my own template, and I cut the hole in the same panel as the flap, which is supposed to go on the other flap. So I tried cutting it off, but it just doesn't look like with the tape there. So I did a new one. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna need another piece of window sheet too. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I cut my hexagon hole out of the panel that does not have the flap on it. Alrighty. And this piece you can use for another project. All right. Now we need to put our window sheet in, and it should be 3 by 3. This piece is a little shorter, but the best bet is to do it 3 by 3 because you need the 3 on this side. This side you get away with it, but it's best if you just do 3 by 3 for a window sheet. All right, and then we want to get our glue dots and our take your pick tool, and we're going to put them all around where we know the window sheet will cover. And I'm putting one on each side. All right, and then we're going to take our window sheet and just make sure that it doesn't go over any of the folds, or you won't be able to close the box, okay? All righty. All right, now flip it over. And we're going to get our tearing tape, and we're going to put it right next to the score line on the piece that we didn't do that one again. We notched out of the top and bottom. I'm just going to take that off. We're going to flip it over. Flip over the side with your tape, and then flip. Oh, I wasn't supposed to wedge that side. Oh well. It's been one of those days, so my box is going to be a little funky at the top and bottom. I'm so sorry. I have a lot going on in my house right now. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. All right, so that's because I rushed. All right, so the side that doesn't, this one of, let me see here. Yeah, the side over here should not be wedged. You can look at my template. I'm so sorry. I don't have my you know what together today. I totally did it backwards, but it's all right. Okay. Alrighty. So besides that, okay, so this is our front. We're going to put the tabs in, which I don't have one on this side because I cut it wrong when I was rushing. And then the back, and then the front one is where we're going to put the rest of our tear and tape on. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to take it off the backing and just make sure that it's nice and square. Okay, and that's putting the box together. Alrighty. All right, now we're going to get some of our Hershey's. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 6 of them will fit in. How about there we go. About 6 will fit in there. All right, now our hearts are in. What we're going to do is we're just going to pinch the top. It doesn't really matter how far it goes down. It shouldn't go far. All righty. And then we're going to close it and just make sure it's, make sure it's even. All righty. And then we're going to get a hole punch and we're going to punch 2 holes. Okay. And I'm going to get the double-sided, double-stitched satin ribbon in real red. And we're going to put it through both sides. Alrighty. Then we're just going to tie a bow in the front. Alrighty. And then I'm just going to trim them. Okay, we're going to have to open up that bow. Alright, we're not going to worry about it for now. Okay. We don't need this yet. What we need is to do some stamping. So we need our piece of basic white and our red tag. Alrighty, and we're going to be using this robot, and you make my, this robot, and you make my heart go beep. Alright, so we're going to put the robot on the white, and we're using Tuxedo Black for both of these. Okay, and then Tailor Made tag out of real red. I'm going to put this right towards the bottom. Good. Okay. The stamp's very forgiving because it kind of goes a little wonky, so you don't notice if it's not perfectly straight. All right. So now we're going to do some coloring. Not too many. I used light and dark Smokey Slate and light and dark real red. So first we're going to use the dark Smokey Slate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just outline the middle of the face here and the top, the bottom of this little hump. And then I'm just going to go around all the lines on the face basically. Not, well, you could, I'm going to do this one anyway. Okay. And then I'm going to do the entire neck, the entire hands and arms, because we want them to show off just a little bit. And then we're only going to do the top, the bottom, and this side of the body. One side of the legs, and then the outsides of the feet. All right, and then we're just going to color the rest in with light smoky slate. Alrighty. And then for the real red, I'm going to take the dark real red and I'm going to do the little circle on the top of his antenna. And I'm going to go just trace around the entire outside of the heart. Okay, and then put the inside with the light and just kind of blend it in. Okay, and that's it for coloring. Unfortunately, I have to fussy cut this one out, but I already did it, so we don't have to wait. All right, so now I'm just going to take dimensionals and put him above the sentiment. One on the head, one on the body, and then I cut a mini dimensional in half for the feet because I really don't want them to be loose. Kind of tedious, but I don't want them to fly off. One. And that one. Oops. Stuck on me. Maybe I didn't pull the paper on this one. There we go. All right. And then what I do is I put a tiny dab, just don't make it thick, just wipe a little bit of glue on the antenna because I don't want that to fly off either, to get pulled off. All right. And we're just going to put them down a little above the sentiment. And then just press the little antenna down. Okay, so now we're done with that. Now we can untie the bow that I made. And I'm just going to put it on whatever one is on the right side. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim these even. That's about right. Okay, now comes these three hearts. And on the dies, these are the sweetheart dies. I just used this one, which cut out the two little ones out of Real Red, and this one, which cut the big one. Okay. And I'm just going to use some glue. I'm going to put, oh no, actually I used a dimensional on the large one. And I just put it a little up from the bottom. Here we go. And then I'm going to put just a dot of glue here and a dot of glue here. I'm going to use the other side of my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to pick up the heart. I'm going to put this one down there, and this one over down here. All right. And then I'm going to take some of my last red matte decorative dots, and since this was 3, I figured I would put 2 of these. So one, that's my last 2. Whoops, please stick. There we go. All right, and then for the final touch, I'm going to just take a little wink of Stella, and I'm just going to make this heart shiny. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm sorry I made a couple mistakes. I hope that if you need anything from Stampin' Up, you would consider buying it from me. And I would love it if you would subscribe. If you have any questions, my contact information is below. My blog link is below, which will tell you all the measurements. And also if you'd like to join and become a demonstrator. Alrighty, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.